Audi's improved A6 range features significant improvements, not immediately evident at first glance. As before, there's a huge choice for executive sector saloon and estate buyers, whether the need is for frugal running costs, four-wheel drive or supercar performance. Here's a car good enough to make you wonder whether you really need that luxury saloon after all. Since early this century, Audi's A6 has been one of the products in the vanguard of a rise to prominence that has seen the Ingolstadt brand established as the fastest growing of the three German prestige marques. But in the face of competition from the frighteningly eco-friendly BMW 5 Series and the latest generation Mercedes E-Class, the A6 was finding it tough, hence the importance of the revised version that we're looking at here. With cleaner looks, and more importantly cleaner engines, this car is once again an option you can't ignore if you're shopping for a saloon or an estate in this sector. Yet it's not changed so much as to decimate residual values of a model that's been with us since 2004. Now, as before, the range is astonishingly wide, everything from an eco-friendly 2-litre TDI-E variant to a 580 PS RS6 supercar, and as before, it differentiates itself from its rivals with the option of improved quattro four-wheel drive. Facelifted cars don't normally drive very differently from their predecessors, but this one's an exception. In the years since the A6 was first introduced, Audi's engineers have come on leaps and bounds in their understanding of the essence of driving satisfaction, a fact attested to by models like the R8 supercar and even the Q5 SUV. Hence, when Audi's engineers say that they've reworked the suspension settings on this A6, you know that they wouldn't have been able to resist completely sorting the whole thing out in the light of more recent experience. And so it proves. It isn't just the improved ride and body control that you now notice over secondary roads, but also the level of steering response that you get on this car, something that will be new to people familiar with the original version. If you've opted, as I have here, for the quattro four-wheel drive variant, then the news is even better, with a system now that, just like in the RS6 Super Saloon, apportions drive 40-60, front to rear, in an attempt to inject a sportier element into the drive. The main news on the engine front is the introduction of the 3-litre TFSI 290 PS supercharged petrol engine that I'm driving here, which replaces the 3.2-litre V6 and 4.2-litre V8 units from the previous range. Now, given that it launches this Audi from rest to 60 in just 5.9 seconds, and you can even specify a DRC dynamic ride control adjustable damping system so that you can create an even sportier drive, you have to wonder whether it might not start to affect sales of the performance-orientated S6 and RS6 variants at the top of the range. Transmission choices, as before, range between a 6-speed manual, you have a 6-speed Tiptronic automatic, or a 7-speed economy maximising Multitronic CVT automatic transmission. You'll need to be rather into the Audi brand to notice the changes made to this revised A6. The big single-frame grille dominates the front as before, and the bumpers have been reshaped so that the line of the lower edge lifts up at the centre. At the back, the tail lights have been tweaked along with the bumper, while this saloon version gets a resculpted boot lid too. Go for the S-Line variants, as I have, and you also get trendy daytime running lights. The classy interior of the A6 left little room for improvement, but Audi have upgraded some of the materials and increased the use of chrome detailing. The latest version of the excellent MMI infotainment system is also included. As before, there's a choice of saloon or Avant estate body styles. Go for the Avant and your boot space with all the seats in position rises from 546 to 565 litres. Plus, of course, you can flatten the split folding rear seats and increase your luggage area to 1,660 litres. Now, this saloon version has more boot space than its BMW or Mercedes rivals, and you can extend it further with this useful ski hatch for longer items. But perhaps more importantly, its build quality is as good, if not better, than its German rivals. For proof, check out the world's tightest shut lines. They're just 2.5 millimeters between the doors or the boot line and the bodywork when they're shut. The options list now includes useful high-tech features like the Audi Assist blind spot warning system, the Lane Assist lane departure warning system, and the radar-assisted adaptive cruise control setup. Most Audi A6s are sold in the £25,000 to £37,000 bracket, and you'll pay about £35,000 for the 3-litre TFSI petrol model that I've been driving here, which is just slightly more than the 3-litre TDI 240 PS diesel alternative that most A6 buyers will probably choose. Now, if you want an Avant Estate, budget around £1,500 more, or £2,000 more on top of that if you want the limited but very useful off-road ability of the all-road estate model. If you want the supercar slaying S6 and RS6 performance models, budget £55,000 or around £75,000 respectively. Now, direct rivals, apart from the obvious Mercedes E-Class and BMW 5 Series alternatives, include cars like Jaguar's XF and Lexus's GS. Most A6 sales are of diesel models, something born out of a need faced by most executives for lowering their running costs and reducing their tax exposure. Now, to this end, Audi has bought us a super economical entry-level 2-litre TDI E A6 variant that all but matches its arch-rival BMW 520d competitor on the balance sheet. Now, there's a 170 PS version of this 2-litre TDI engine as well that sits below two V6 TDI alternatives, a 190 PS 2.7 TDI and a 240 PS 3-litre TDI. Now, these latter two engines are particularly popular with A6 all-road customers who sensibly forego wasteful large SUV ownership in favour of a large estate with air suspension and off-road accessories that can do much the same thing, but in a much more sensible package. For those in search of petrol power, the acclaimed 2-litre TFSI unit makes an appearance in 170 PS form. But for people who think that 4 cylinders have no place in a vehicle of this size, well, they'll much prefer the 220 PS of the 2.8-litre FSI variant, or indeed the 290 PS that you get in the 3-litre T supercharged model that I've been driving here. Now, there'll always be those for whom too much of a good thing is merely a great start, and for them, only the S6 and RS6 performance range toppers will suffice, developing either 435 or 580 PS respectively. Economy and emissions are big issues for every car manufacturer at the moment, and Audi has taken steps to ensure that the environmental credentials of this A6 are up amongst the best in the sector. Now, the green standard bearer for the range is the 2-litre TDI E variant, which pairs the 2-litre TDI 136 PS engine with longer gear ratios, a brake energy regenerating alternator and various aerodynamic tweaks to achieve an outstanding 53.3 miles to the gallon combined fuel economy figure. Emissions are also highly impressive and very tax efficient at 139 grams per kilometre of CO2. Compare that to the 37.4 miles to the gallon and 174 grams per kilometre of CO2 figures that you get in the equivalent 2-litre TFSI petrol model, and you can see why so many A6 buyers go diesel. At the other end of the range, the 3-litre TFSI petrol supercharged model that I'm driving here returns 30.1 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and puts out 219 grams per kilometre of CO2. Now, that's a big improvement on the variants that it replaced, but it's still slightly down on its BMW 530i alternative. Audi has left very little to chance with its latest A6. High-tech innovations and sharper styling headline a solid collection of improvements that have upped its game across the board. With a super economical entry-level model and a barnstorming supercar to top the lineup, it's safe to say that this range retains its broad executive appeal, and it's now the driver's car that it should have been from the start. If this Audi had fallen from the top of your executive wish list, then it may just be time to give it another try.